Alright guys, here we are at Crypto Valley in Decentraland. It's pretty fucking cool, isn't it? Alright, let me go. Got too close. Alright, there's a conference that's going to start here in about 5 minutes. Shout out to DCLcore and Matty from DCL Blogger who's hosting these things. Really utilizing like this awesome building it's created. So let's go take a look. Uh-oh. It sounds like they took off the sound.
So this conference is all about the people building in Decentraland. So yeah, we should know each other.
Oh.
Hopefully.
Okay, looks like it's about to start.
In the future, but yeah, I'm gonna start doing these sort of Decentraland community type conferences more often, so we can kind of share the updates of what people are working on, etc., etc.
That's Matty speaking, by the way. He's the host and the organizer of this event. So what you're going to see is a bunch of avatars just kind of gather up. I mean, this is the whole idea, right? Like a
looks like people are
metaverse, immersive, Second Life type experience. So this is actually like a real use case for the metaverse. You know, especially in times like now when coronavirus, right? Places for people to gather and share ideas outside of the real world, you know? Why the fuck not? So there's Will. He's gonna be the first presenter. You can see him on the screen. He's representing MetaZone. That's my boy. We'll see how he does. So I'll probably just have to shut the fuck up from now on.
We should start in about 5 to 10 minutes when everyone rocks up.
Okay, 5 to 10 minutes. He says. Yeah, we good.
No. Just take me off.
Oh, you can see the in-game chat, bottom left corner of the screen. Right now, there isn't any in-game voice chat. I think that will probably be a game changer once it is implemented. But in situations like this, it might actually be bad. You know, the whole idea is to have the conference speaker, you know, the star of the show. Could you imagine if everybody in the audience had the ability to, you know, shoot the shit and say whatever they wanted? It would probably just turn into madness. So we'll have to figure that out as a community, how to manage that. Most likely some kind of like closed, private channel for people to talk. So everybody else in the audience will probably get muted while the speaker is speaking. Yeah, there he is, DCL Blogger. That's Matty. He's the one who's organizing all these conferences. So, and there's Baus. That's him. This dude right here, Decentral Games. He's got some badass casinos in Decentraland. So he'll also be speaking.
Hey everyone, welcome whoever joined so far. We're going to be starting in about 5, maybe 10 minutes. Everything is working really good. I'm just going to double check a couple more things. Everyone here right now are a bit early. I think people start to report in about 5 minutes after the event starts. So at about 2:05, we'll get started. But yeah, make yourself welcome, talk to each other, and I'll do a introduction to our speakers in about 5 minutes.
Bravo. Matty's already getting so much better at this. This is the second time he's done this, by the way. We did one last week, which was pretty awesome. I think he wants this to be a weekly thing. So if y'all aren't in Decentraland and you want to hear like some cool shit about some cool crypto projects, follow DCLcore. There's their logo right there. Follow DCLcore on Twitter. Or follow DCL Blogger on Twitter as well. And you'll be notified anytime some kind of in-world event is going down, you know, so you guys can participate. It's not hard to get a Decentraland avatar. You just need to download an Ethereum wallet. There's more hype to the complications of it than what it actually is. You know, it just takes a couple minutes. Once you have it, you know, you purchase 100 mana to claim your avatar name, because once you claim it, it is your name forever. Nobody else can replicate your name. So create your avatar, select your name, and jump in and join us. So we can do some weird, cool shit like this all the time. Look at this guy, dude. He's fucking dancing. All right, let me dance with him. See? You can't do this. This is unique to Decentraland. You see this hip wiggle, dude? You can't do this anywhere else. All right, while we're just waiting, let me show you some other emotes. So right now, there's only 4 emotes in the game, or in the world. I hesitate to call this a game because, I mean, it looks pretty fucking game-like, right? Like, if you were new, had no idea what this project was about, and you just jumped in, you would assume this is a video game. I mean, it kind of is, but in reality, it's, as cliche as it sounds, it's really like a platform that's open for anybody to use, to create. And I'm pretty sure I'll make future videos about that. Like if you check, dude, this is a giant ass map. Each of these little square parcels signifies somebody who owns the plot, and you're able to create whatever you want on your plot, as long as you're the owner of it. So this is where we are. This giant blue square is the Crypto Valley Convention Center. It's a district. There's all kinds of shit in here, but right now we're actually in the convention center for this specific purpose. We're waiting for this presentation to begin. But yeah, somebody actually fucking built this building from scratch. You know, like it's pretty dope. Let's take a tour while we're just waiting. This is like obviously a balcony. Let's go find my favorite spot, which is here. I'll show you. Oh man, look at that sweet elevator. So if you notice, the sound changes as soon as I stepped onto the property. It's a little bit of a different ambience to it. But yeah, this is the rooftop bar / hangout joint. And keep in mind, this project's only like 2 or 3 months old, so it's not like a polished, finished product yet. For instance, like if this were my ideal world, I'd like to be able to interact with this seat. Can't do anything yet. And take a seat at this bar, right? Do a little bit of role play action. Have actually somebody back here dispensing some drinks. Look at that. I mean, everything's set up. We just need the interactivity of it all and whatnot. But most likely there's going to be tons of cool jams playing up here, and it's just going to be a cool place to hang. Like imagine you and your friends just chilling at one of these tables, you know? It's pretty cool. Alright, let's go back downstairs. I'm pretty sure it's about to start like any second now. There's Frankie Needles, a resident badass of the community. He's got his own radio show. You can follow him on Twitter as well. I think it's Frankie Needles, at Frankie Needles, something like that. But he's got a daily radio show in Decentraland where he interviews people. So, okay, I'm just gonna shut up and take my seat up here. Maybe I should get a little closer. Yeah, this is good. Right here. This is where I'm at. By the way, Bitcoin is popping off today. It broke through the 9,500 barrier, so we'll see what happens. I'm more interested in the value of the altcoins right now, so it's not really a big deal to me.
Welcome for everyone new that's just joined. Again, we're just testing a few things. Everything's working really, really good, so we should start really quickly in about 2 to 3 minutes. Do a dance if you can hear me fine. I think the audio was working last time we checked. Just let me know in the chat if the audio is working.
Dancing for my boy so he knows the audio's working. Look at that. Could you imagine doing this at a real conference, dude? It turned into like the straight Ellen show. Like who wants to dance in the real world? We're all
see some people dancing.
Okay.
Shy and weird, right? This is you could do things like this in the second life.
So normally with these events, I think what we saw last time was that people started porting in about 5 to 10 minutes after the event started. So yeah, purposely not going to start straight away. We're just going to wait another few minutes. So make yourself comfortable, talk to each other. We got slides working really good. So, and we got 5 speakers this time. So it's going to be really cool. 5
speakers? But you only had 4 on the screen. I guess there's like a surprise speaker. Alright, my phone is annoying the shit out of me. I'm sorry, people listening. It's a lot of buzzing going on. Just deal with it for now. This is my first time recording a video, so I'll get better. Okay. I guess The show isn't starting yet. Let's just keep roaming and fucking around with the community a little bit. See, unfortunately, you can't like bump into people. Not yet. Everything is just, it's not, colliders aren't in place, but regardless, it's still pretty cool. So I think we got about 15 people in this room so far. I'm anticipating more to show up. The one we did last week, there was a full room, 50 people. There's only about 50 people max per server in Decentraland, but there's multiple servers, so it's not like only 50 people are allowed on Decentraland at once. There's a much larger capacity than that, but I guess for, you know, logistic reasonings, you can only have 50 per server at the moment. You know, to throttle things like lag or issues like that. So I'm anticipating a full 50 to show up here in a second or two. So I'll show you that once that actually happens. Oh, and there's Talk Sam. This is the second speaker. He is I believe he's the founder and creator of PolygonalMind. They do really cool builds. I'll probably make a video on that at some point too. Like, they build some of the coolest shit in Decentraland. It's like an actual studio, 3D art design studio. So, I mean, these guys make money doing this shit, so you would expect them to have the coolest stuff, right? Oh yeah, like I was saying, Bitcoin's popping off right now. I mean, if you're paying attention to that, it's a pretty interesting time, you know. Bitcoin had like a huge sell-off whenever the whole COVID scare first came out, but it's starting to become, like, people are getting used to the whole idea of living with a pandemic just ripping through society. So because of that, things like stocks and crypto are starting to return to normal. But here, let me just.
All right, everyone. I think we're going to make a start. Welcome to the DCLcore Conference Center.
Here we go.
Business Conference Center number 2. So hopefully we should run a bit more smoother this time. We're going to start now. So it's about 2:06, 12:05 for me AM. So yeah, we're 5 minutes in, and we should start on time. Everything's working smooth, so we should see no issues with the slides or the audio. Hopefully you guys can.
Let me throw a wave over there. Let's see if they wave back.
I might just double check the audio one more time. Can you guys do a little dance, or just let me know again in the chat? Make sure. Okay.
Oh
so
man.
Tell me the audio is a little bit.
Alright, we're dancing.
If you don't see the slides move, you might need to do a refresh. But it should be fine. So yeah, it should be fine. We're doing another Twitter contest once again. So if you share a print screen of different angles of what you see on Twitter, do a hashtag DCL Biz Conference hashtag on Twitter. You can see the hashtag at the bottom right here on the screen. Yeah, we're trying to get that all, get some Twitter buzz happening and kind of helps us get more people here. Just post a link. Post the teleport link there.
Where'd
as
he
well.
go?
So you can get people
That guy just disappeared.
Links and get some more activity. Yeah, post the teleport link there as well. Hopefully you can get. I think I'm double hearing myself. Someone's got their audio on as well. Post the teleport link there as well. Hopefully you can get. I think I'm double hearing myself.
Technical issues. So I think they're in a Zoom call right now, all the presenters.
And then just deactivate sound on the top right.
Yeah, so I think someone's got their, so whoever's on the Zoom call, I think just mute this tab. Sound on the top right.
I got it mute.
Someone's got
Yeah, I have it muted.
Alright guys, we're just gonna sort out this echo issue. Just give it a couple minutes. Alright, I don't think they're hearing any echo anymore.
I think it's you, Matty, dude. Every time you
Steve,
speak,
did
it sounds like
you,
a train's going off in your
mute it too?
background.
I did, yes.
So
Wonder what that was then.
okay.
They can't hear me, by the way. I'm
Am I
just
still on?
talking to myself like a fucking psycho right now.
Alright, so
just doing it for the views, right?
Okay with the echo. Alright, so what I'll do is I'm going to introduce our speakers. We have Will from MetaZone. We got Daniel from PolygonalMind. We're going to have a mid-break with Josie. She's going to tell us a bit about her art. We have Miles from Decentral Games, and we have Steve from Digitable. So I've done this particular kind of lineup because I want to explore and give more awareness as to people that are working with Decentraland specifically, working on projects and really putting the effort and time and money to build something amazing. So I think, we have to strengthen our own community along with the broader community. So this is what this conference is for, and hopefully we kind of expand from there. I'm going to introduce Will from MetaZone, who's going to talk about his project.
Woo!
All right, thank you, Matty. I appreciate you guys joining, all the Decentraland citizens out there. Thank you for coming. So today I want to talk about MetaZone. So just to give a little bit of backstory of how we come up with MetaZone. It was between my brother and one of my good friends, Iman.
That's me.
Basically,
That's
Iman
me.
and I started a podcast about a year ago, almost exactly to the day. And we discovered Decentraland about 10 podcasts in. And then the week after we discovered it, we contacted Matty, and he told us all about it. This was before Decentraland even had a way to get into the land, right? And all it was just a map. And just a grid of a bunch of black pixels. And apparently at the time, you just get to own these parcels. And so once we started talking to Matty, he was explaining to me, he's like, no, you just jump in the world and you get to explore, you own, you build. And then my brother, Corv, some of you may know him, he listened to
The
the
coding
podcast.
wizard.
Like, hey, wait a minute, we can build stuff right now. And he started with the Block Runner, the game. And it was a very simple game where you jumped over a bunch of blocks in a tournament style type of way. And essentially that kind of morphed into understanding how to deploy stuff in Decentraland.
Oh shit, the slide just changed. It's working.
And so we started with this concept where, what if we made it just very simple for anyone to deploy anything in Decentraland? And that's sort of how MetaZone was born. And now we call it the App Store for Decentraland.
God damn it, dude.
And so let me click through the slides here. So one of the biggest problems that we found with Decentraland is there's a trilemma. And essentially, landowners have this problem with the majority of the landowners are sitting on expensive land, which we consider as bandwidth for developers.
Truth.
And without the ability to create valuable content due to lack of technical ability, right? That's what the landowner is facing at this moment. And then we have the developer dilemma, right? I'm
the landowner who doesn't have any skill. That's me.
Financial incentive to build quality content, right? That's one of the things that developers, when they jump into Decentraland, they don't have access to build anything just because they don't happen to have land.
That's Oscar,
and
aka
so finally,
Corv.
we have the player dilemmas. Like, if content
he has all the skill, but he's broke.
There isn't really a reason to come back, right? So this is the problem that we started to kind of formulate when we were building stuff in Decentraland. And once we started building and deploying, we realized it wasn't exactly the most simplest process to deploy anything in Decentraland. So
God damn it, Will, you didn't use any of my slides, dude.
99% of all parcels right now
it's okay,
are
I forgive you.
Unmonetized. And that's a big problem, because if we don't create a way for developers to monetize their creations, they have a very, very small incentive to build anything in Decentraland. And with that problem, you're not going to see any content being built into Decentraland. So our solution is to essentially build a marketplace that aligns the incentives for creators, landowners, and players to collaborate. And the developers have a place to sell custom creations that we're calling metas.
There's a little bit more people showing up.
Landowners can deploy these metas. So think of a meta as a little application running on your land. And on your land, you can run several applications, right? You can have a house, you can have other content that creators around the world are submitting into MetaZone. All that stuff can exist on your single 1x1 parcel. And then players are able to find metas that earn them mana, sort of like the games that we've come up with, Block Runner, Block Hole, Pack Runner. and a few others that are coming, like Corona zombies. And so with these games being able to generate mana for the player, they have an incentive to come back and continue playing. So
AKA Red Nitrous.
To round off this this idea here is we want to talk about our current sales. So we launched just on the same day that Decentraland launched, February 20th. Of course, we built this several months in advance. And we've able to accumulate almost 1 million mana in roughly 2.5 months. And this is a huge accomplishment in the sense that we're identifying a market that developers can
Preach,
can
brother,
jump into
preach.
to create the world that we see the potential that Decentraland can turn into. And we have landowners eager to build on that world, but without the necessary the skills to build into Decentraland, they have a way now to deploy custom content from creators all over the world. And so right now we have over 250 metas that have been sold, over 20 creators. So imagine 20 creators in Decentraland through MetaZone have been able to generate 1 million mana. And then we have over 50 landowners actually deploying these metas. And so the biggest thing to take away from this presentation is that although we've generated 1 million mana in revenue in the 2 months, the majority of that mana goes to the creators. 70% of that goes to the creators. And so we just wanted to showcase that there is a marketplace here. We want to bring in developers. We want to encourage this development to populate the world in a lot more efficient way, where everything is aligned for the creators, the developers, and the players themselves. So with that, that concludes my presentation. I'll leave it up to Matty to kind of coordinate the next steps here.
Damn it, Will, you forgot my slide that had all the metas. Oh, there it is. Never mind. Just kidding.
Yeah, hey guys.
There they are.
Thanks, Will, for the presentation. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen MetaZone at the moment. Give him a clap, give him a dance, let him know that, you know, we all heard him. But yeah, MetaZone is awesome. It really does solve a problem. I've seen a lot of developers that get involved, whether they're 3D modeling just a house, or whether they're textures, like you can see at the bottom right, you see some wall textures, you see some games. It's a very interesting concept. I think there's the eventual idea to make them, you know, tokenize these as NFTs. So imagine you can make games and scenes that earn revenue for people, and I, as a landowner, can rent them maybe for a day. If I need to host a conference but I don't want to actually buy anything or spend too much money, I can just rent them. So there's a huge new kind of just tokenizing and a whole new world that's being opened up here with MetaZone. So it's really good addition to the community and something that Decentraland definitely needs. So yeah, concludes it for MetaZone. Thanks again, Will. What we're going to do is we're going to jump to our next speaker, and I'm going to see if I can change the slide here. Hopefully I can. Will, can you change the slide?
Let me try.
All right. I think that's the end of
Look at
Will's
twice.
speech. That was pretty hot. And you guys get the idea. Yeah, we're like,
Let me see if I can go back.
us at MetaZone, we're trying to look at all this cool shit on the screen. We're trying to get more of this going on, because whether you're a veteran of Decentraland or a noob, one thing you're going to notice once you go outside this district and step outside these awesome doors,
just to fix this slide.
it's mostly an empty land. Let me go show you.
Stay with us.
Here, let me just go roam the world. Like I said, you see at the top left corner in the mini-map, the blue district? Like, most of this stuff is built out because we're actually in a district, so it's not like publicly owned land. But once I step onto the actual gray parcels, like, look at this. Look at this. It's like a vast, open potential. Look at all this green land. This is all just, you know, if it's grass and trees and rocks and stuff, this just signifies that nothing's been deployed on these parcels, right? Like, I'm roaming over tons of parcels and there's nothing deployed. You know, here's something. This is an example of builder stuff, I believe. So there is like a builder tool for people who aren't, technically inclined and who aren't developers or 3D artists, there's a builder tool where you could use to kind of like put, I'm sorry, you could put, objects like this on your land, but it's cool and all, but the objective of MetaZone is to, have community created content where landowners can actually monetize their land. An example of that is, here, let me just pull up MetaZone real quick while you guys are watching. Example of that. This is MetaZone, by the way. These are all the metas. It's this sugar gallery that was made by, one of the more popular guys in the community, Too Sad to Tell, owner of the Sugar Club. He just created a gallery for everybody to purchase, and we've already sold about 12 of them. So anybody who owns this gallery can deploy it onto their land and do whatever the hell they want with it. From what I've seen, most people have turned it into an art gallery where they're displaying their own personal collection of NFT art. And you could literally charge, or not charge, but have like a donation bucket set up in this art gallery and, monetize your land that way. Have people, market yourself on Twitter, whatever other social platform you can think of, and get people to come in and observe your collection. And if they get inspired, if they like it, whatever, they could donate to you, and you're actually generating passive income. Something that hasn't been possible in Decentraland to this point. So that's the goal of MetaZone. I don't know why. I just felt like I had to add on a little bit to what Will said. But yeah, let's go back and listen to the other speakers. Good job, Will. That was a great segue. That was a good speech. Uh-oh. Where's the convention center? Oh my god. It won't let me in. So these green walls are... It's rendering. It's like a rendering block. Okay, I'm in. Alright. Oh yeah, see, the house is packing up. We're almost to that 50. I say we get about 30 now.
Yeah.
Maybe 35.
Stuck.
Frankie, can you just take me off audio for a sec?
I'm not sure what's going on here. I think they're having more technical issues. Maybe it was a good idea that I went out exploring for a little bit. Fuck it, dude. While we're here, let's just take a look at these awesome metas, dude. They're so hot. But this is an example of what he's talking about. These two bottom left metas are games that Corv made. The left one called Orb Jumper. It's literally this little green orb you see on this picture display randomly appears in different locations like every 5 or 6 seconds, and your job as the player is to collect as many orbs as possible. Oh, and I got wrecked. Oh, no, we're back. So you kind of like use these ramps as, to get to these orbs as fast as you can. If you don't get there in the 5 or 6 second spawner time, then you lose. So collect as many as you can. Fun game. Super undervalued, I think. I wish more people would be playing it, but whatever. It's actually my personal favorite. Then we got Corona Zombies coming out. I mean, if you just look at it right away, it brings like 1990s nostalgia, right? It looks like something straight out of Doom. But yeah, that's another game that's on its way. So there's a lot of potential in Decentraland, not just for gaming, but for everything. For social, music, art, just business in general. So yeah, that's kind of like, this is my first video on this channel, but hopefully I can explore more for you guys and bring you guys some content that you can digest and kind of understand the vision behind this platform, and hopefully one day contribute. It'd be nice if one thing I've been noticing on MetaZone is a lot of people learning how to use things like Blender and basic coding skills to kind of create their own metas. So if that's your cup of tea, go for it. You can actually make some money. We've had people make thousands of dollars selling their metas, so it's doable. It's possible. I don't hear any sound. Let me fix this. Uh-oh. What is happening? Holy shit. Whoa. Okay, so if you heard that, that was a that was an example of a club in Decentraland. That place is bopping for sure. Okay. Alright, so this is the loading screen whenever you teleport to a new location. This is what it looks like. Doesn't take that long. And this is the beauty of Decentraland. It's just browser based. How easy is that? You don't have to download anything. You just type in coordinates into your browser and it takes you directly to whatever location you want to go to. I think there are talks of maybe a client coming out in the future just to improve, functionality and, graphics, whatever, yada, 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 performance. But we're not there yet, so.
New realities.
Okay.
For us, it's very important to interoperability among layers. Although we are in Decentraland, so we are going to focus on that for now. But just to be sure that we are
Where'd he go?
trying to connect all
Oh,
these beautiful places together with buildings and cool stuff that we can see. Since we're a studio, okay, next slide. Okay, so this is our work in Decentraland. We joined back in the end of 2018. Back then there was nothing. I mean, there was still one action to be done about land action.
this
And
is
there was
PolygonalMind, by the
nothing.
way. Talk Sam
It
speaking.
was very interesting for me because there was a lot of hype, but there was nothing built. And we tried to join the community and try to see how we can help because our background is game development and mobile game development, and we did low poly style. So Decentraland is our perfect fit. And we thought that we could do awesome stuff in Decentraland. Since then, we have done 10 projects or more. I don't even count them anymore. We have done, I don't know, we have done a lot of games, exhibitions, just random stuff. We also did casino machine once. We also made escape room. Also participated in a lot of contests in Decentraland. For us, Decentraland has been a really cool place to stay because it allows us to keep us, to keep the studio running. We have had a lot of improvements and a lot of things. We have pushed the limits of Decentraland with our graphics a lot. We also have learned and developed some tools for us, like the signing book that we want to release and all stuff. So far, we have developed more than 850 lands. Maybe it's more, I don't know. But that's what I counted last time. We have developed a lot of games like Tomb Chaser that you can play for free, you can also play paid, and we are also keep developing more Tomb Chasers too, more Tomb Chaser levels, and now we're also developing some games and stuff. This is basically all we have done in Decentraland. I wish we could have done more, really, because I really like the idea of Decentraland itself. But hey, that's what we can. Okay, next slide.
Don't sell yourself so short, Talk Sam. You've done a
this
bunch.
is what we are cooking up right now. This is kind of
Whoa.
new moment. We're cooking on something called Metaverse,
What is happening?
which is going to be
Okay.
like a platform just for us to sell our stuff. We will be able to be doing NFTs, so our building will become NFTs, and people will be able to buy them. And if you don't know how to use them, we will implement them for you. We also work for commission. We actually are working on some commissions. And the stuff's finished, we will be able to mint them, and you will be able to just act on it or sell it or whatever you want. So it's not just a commission that ends and stops there. So you can have like real value overall. And the next steps that we want to open in other worlds like Summon Space and Sandbox, but that's really far away in the future. The thing is, in the last few months, we have been doing some research and we have been learning about blockchain development. We actually are working on our own contracts, so we will be able to do this kind of stuff that we were not able before. As I mentioned, we are mostly artists, but thanks to our work in Decentraland, we can now afford to hire a guy who can make contracts. We are also working on something related with avatars, but that's still very early, and I don't want to talk about it. And basically, that's it. So, next slide. Yeah, thank you. You can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, or join our Discord with that QR codes. And basically, that's it. Thanks for listening, and hope to.
So yeah, that was PolygonalMind, Toxic Sam. This guy.
Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, that was awesome. So PolygonalMind, you definitely would recognize their stuff.
Yeah, they're awesome creator studio.
Kind of quality of it is really amazing and next level. They worked on a few different pieces like the art. I remember on the very early days there was a
sorry, once again, fucking phone.
Puzzle room. Was that from you, Daniel?
Yeah.
In case you guys are wondering who are watching, why the crowd went from like pretty packed to this. This is what I was talking about earlier.
Land, right?
Yes,
Here, let me step outside so I can explain.
So yeah, there was an escape room that they had built on one land, and to me.
Okay, as I was saying, the reason why there's only like 4 or 5 people in that audience now, as opposed to it looked like 40 or 50 the last time I was in there. I had to disconnect because the audio dropped for me, and because of that, I lost my place in the priority server. And I guess while I was out, it reached that 15-player maximum limit. So now it just automatically puts me into the next server on the list, which is the one. And if you can see, let me see if I can get my cursor up here where it says Fenrir Gold. This is the server title. So each server has its own nomenclature, obviously. So yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. An example of how Decentraland handles the traffic. You know, we're all listening to the same presentations. Obviously, the presenters aren't present because they're in the other server. But at least we get to hear what they're saying. We get to watch their slides, yada, yada, yada. So this is a great example of what I was talking about earlier. So I guess for the rest of this video, I'm just going to tune into the last presenters. This is probably going to be a really fucking long video. So if you like this content and you want me to keep doing like reaction type videos to other types of Decentraland events that go down in the future, leave me a thumbs up, put a comment, you know, all that cool stuff. Subscribe to the Block Runner, you know, like us on Twitter, all that stuff. All right, I'm going back in.
That I kind of started sharing along with my friends, and they were kind of solving the puzzles. It was really cool, and it took me about half an hour, 45 minutes to do it. But it gave me a very strong realization that you can really build something amazing on a single scene, on a single parcel of land, which to me I thought it was impossible just because of the size limitations. But you know, PolygonalMind have been pushing the limits since day one, really. If you want to follow him, Daniel, I think he goes by the name ToxSam in Discord. I think they have their own Discord as well. So again, thanks again, Daniel, for coming in and doing the talk. So we're going to break this event, and we've got a special speaker, Josie, who's going to tell us a bit about her art.
Josie.
Yours truly, and take it away, Josie.
Josie's like a god tier artist in the NFT
so I don't know
world.
if you can pull up maybe the sweet, the first screen. Thank you.
I actually had no idea she was
my name is
speaking
Josie.
today.
I create crypto art, and I've been doing some things with games and within the metaverse for a little while now. I wanted to talk a little bit about a piece that I created and released in February. because I thought that it has so many obviously different projects involved and parallels that I would love to see within Decentraland. So the piece on the screen is called Yours Truly, and the left or the right image is just an image from the still from the GIF of the actual NFT. But if you go to the next slide, you can see the participants that were, I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I don't think the
Yeah,
slides
sorry.
are
Oh, sweet.
working in real time like they were earlier. This is unfortunate.
So yeah, the next
Change,
slide,
damn it.
Yeah, that basically I was able to.
I want to
partner
click
with
it
a
myself
ton
and
of different
change these
games in this
slides. Maybe
space.
that'll be a
Age of
future
Rust, Axie Infinity,
implementation
CryptoKitties,
where you just control the
CryptoVoxels,
slides yourself.
OpenSea, Super Rare, and Artist Twisted Vacancy, and we were able to make this huge metaverse puzzle that spanned all of these different games. The hub of it was in CryptoVoxels, and then a ton of players just jumped in, started trying to crack this puzzle. The prize was 10 ETH, and then we also had a lot of NFTs donated from other artists and other games and part of the prize pool. So it was this pretty exciting event. A lot of people showed up for it, and one of the biggest things that people said to me were, "Oh, I never heard of this game or that game, or I've never been in CryptoVoxels. This was so easy, and this was really exciting to do." So I really would love to see. I know Decentraland is working on some really amazing things, but love to see something where artists can use, partner with these builders that we're talking to here, and really create something that can span multiple metaverses and involve so many different people that might not be familiar with Decentraland or might not be familiar with the other games that are partnered with it. But when everyone kind of bands together and you see it all over Twitter and it's doing all this crazy stuff, it makes a huge impact in the community. And a lot of that has to do with obviously making building easier for artists, for game developers, for people who don't know who aren't technical at all. So I love to see the progress in that aspect, but I definitely think we have like a lot of room to grow there. And if you go to the next slide, I think the next slide just shows the team that won, which is awesome because the team that actually ended up, it was a group
It's
of 5
unfortunate
people.
these slides aren't
The
working.
team that won this huge puzzle that all started with a painting.
I'm actually going to refresh. Since there's no risk of me losing my spot, I'm already in the dumpster server anyways. So I might as well refresh to see if I can get these slides going again. Yeah, we're missing out on a little bit of her talk. Josie is pretty awesome. It's kind of like worth it to see if we can get the art actually on the screen. That's kind of like her thing, right? She creates art. Oh, I hope this works. Like I said earlier, this is not a polished product, boys and girls. This platform literally launched about 2 or 3 months ago, so we got a bright future ahead. We've got a lot of work to do as a community. Come on, servers. Let me in, let me in. I want to see this fucking presentation. Oh, wow. This is taking longer than usual. I guess the activity is hampering the server a little bit. Crap. I think I made a mistake doing this refresh. Gosh darn it. Oh, maybe I disconnected from the internet. I don't know. Let me check. Nope, I'm still connected. Drats! What is happening? Let me in. No, dude. Why is this happening? Okay. That looks a little more promising. Sorry for all the background noise. Oh my god, this is a disaster. Everything is just falling apart. Alright, I'm gonna be patient. I might have to hit that refresh button again. Do I take the risk? I'm doing it. This doesn't look normal. Usually it loads like, not lightning fast, but 5 to 10 seconds and you're in. Something must have happened. Round 2. Let's find out. It says 1 scene remaining to load. Must be 1 monster scene if it's taking that long. It's probably the Crypto Valley Convention Center. There's a lot of activity. I guess this is a good sign. I mean, a lot of people showed up to this. Oh, here we go. Yeah, a lot of people must be here watching this to the point where it's really overloading these servers. All right, let's go.
Letting artists build on it for free, which also increases their value in the land. But it gives an artist a place to show off their work. But it does so much. There's, especially at a time right now, we're all doing everything virtual. Conferences are going virtual. There's so many opportunities in VR and in this space for artists. And it's so weird, but I kind of see it like artists are sort of coming into this space and making it cool, and then it gets a little gentrified, which is actually pretty cool in our case. And people come in and start building like games and like start building out these areas and taking the art and putting it up on the walls and still involving the artists in all of those cool ways. But then at the same time, there are also artists that can do all of this themselves in some cases. So I think it goes hand in hand. It works perfectly together.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Josie, for coming in and telling us a bit about your art. Definitely need to have more artists.
So we missed a significant chunk of that presentation, obviously.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm going to plug her Twitter just because
from Josie,
I missed everything.
Go to the next speaker, who's you may know him as Baus in the Discords, but his name is
This is her Twitter.
Him from Decentral.
I mean, just you can already tell she makes baller ass shit, dude. So just go check her out.
You're on, Miles.
Look at this. Come on now, you can't beat this. All right, go follow Josie on Twitter. Let's see what else is coming up.
Slides up there.
Yep.
Awesome. Hey, so I'll just start off with a little bit of history about how we got involved with Decentraland. We've been following the project pretty closely since the ICO, been a part of the community, but you know, a bit over a year ago, we really started to look at, you know, what we could do to add value to the community, and we kind of felt that in-game ERC20 transactions, like directly coded into the gameplay, is something that kind of was being overlooked a bit. And we felt that that was something that would be really, really key for garnering user retention. So yeah, that's kind of like why we started Decentral Games, and we felt that you know, games around gambling incentives would be a perfect use case for this. Just a little background. The reason why obviously we wanted to build these games on Decentraland over any other metaverse platform is due to its decentralization. Obviously, other platforms offer different things like VR or you know, separate focuses that allow for different niches to form, but we felt that Decentraland was the perfect platform due to this decentralization. Next slide.
Yep.
But yeah, so I mean, if you look at
I'll make a video about decentralization in the future too. It's a big topic, really big topic.
Based on Ethereum, we kind of felt that all of them were kind of hindered by the same user experience issues. You know, by building on the main chain of Ethereum, you have to wait 50 to 20 seconds for transactions to go through. You have to sign a MetaMask pop-up for each play of the game, and you have to pay gas on Ethereum, in Ethereum, even if you're playing with, you know, Mana or some other, you know, ERC20 coin. And we felt that because of this, you know, the user experience was really poor. And we felt that this was
trying to get the slides to work.
That's
why I'm looking away and
have failed to gain mass adoption.
Hold on, let me.
So with Decentral Aims,
let me actually step outside the property and maybe that'll do it. Let's see.
We devised a solution to all these user experience issues. We
dude.
all of our games on Matty network. It's plasma based.
All right, we're doing it again, boys and girls. Refreshing. Again, let me re-emphasize, this is not a polished product. things break from time to time. We're still figuring it out, but all that really matters at this point is the heart of the community. It's definitely there. So let's hope we load in quickly so we can get back to the presentation, but with the actual visual representations, that's what we need. Because this guy has built some beautiful casinos, and it's not like some bullshit web app type casino. It's an actual virtual casino it's gorgeous. I really want you guys to see this. Oh yeah, we got in. Run! This is as fast as I could run, unfortunately.
For the users. So the end user experience for our players pretty much rivals that of a centralized platform, but we have the benefits of the decentralized custody and open source gameplay. So when you go to one of our casinos, you can go next slide. We had a launch party on Friday at Tominoya, our latest casino in Vegas City, and we have slots and roulette both live on Matty network. So for each in-game transaction, user doesn't have to sign any MetaMask. It's instant.
Daft Punk moment
result
there
within a few seconds of the game, and you don't have to have any Ethereum or any Matic coin to pay gas to play these games. So we're really excited. We have we're planning on going mainnet next month, or this month, I think a month, and we're gonna have real Mana gameplay. So that's going to be pretty exciting. We're going to be one of the first dApps on Matic to go live on their mainnet, and this will allow anyone in a whitelisted jurisdiction to come to our casino in Decentraland and wager Mana on our games. So all in all, we kind of our goal is to really drastically increase the Mana transaction volume in world, and so this is essentially how we're planning on doing so. In the future, we plan on rolling out a few new games. We have Blackjack in the works right now, and we're immediately after that, we're going to build Texas Hold'em style poker. And our kind of mission with our games going forward is to really capture the multiplayer experience in Decentraland. Our first game was a slot machine, and we felt like it was a good proof of concept, but it really misses the whole point of Decentraland, which is experiencing and playing games with other users. So going forward, we kind of want to be a prime example of how to use Decentraland for multiplayer game experiences. And it's not easy right now. I mean, with the SDK right now, a lot of the games that have been popping up, by default are single player. But we accomplished this multiplayer, experience by having a authoritative server that keeps the game state.
This is big news.
Synchronized through all the different clients. I know Decentraland is going to add some more features for this in the future to make it easier for people to create these multiplayer experiences. And I'm actually really excited about
this is huge,
because I feel like
we step out for a second to kind of like
is all about. But
totally, boss. I 100% agree. This whole multiplayer integration is going to be a godsend for us in particular, because we have so many game ideas that rely on a synced experience. Because right now, like, if you're a player in this world, whatever you see going on is kind of like unique to your own experience. Meaning, like this elevator is going up and down for me, but it might not be going up and down at the same, time frame for somebody else who's also here. That's the problem. We need to sync the experience for everybody so that we can have a shared moment, a shared space and time, if you will, in Decentraland, so we could, create unique experiences where people can, play together. All right, let me go back in.
Pretty much sums up my talk. We recently did a NFT sale in association with Vegas City, where we sold,
I'm giving up on the slides.
Portions of the Tominoya casino, and it's gotten some pretty
we got Trump in here, dude.
Interest. The NFTs are a bit pricey, but because by owning them, you get a percentage of the profits from that particular part of the casino. So they actually, essentially would pay a return once our games are live on the mainnet. But yeah, thanks for listening to my talk, and let me know if you guys have any questions.
Thanks, Miles, for that. So yeah, you would have seen Decentral games around. I think you see a lot of their work in Vegas, around Vegas district. They built a few casinos, a backgammon game, I think, as well, and a couple of other things. We have a question. Yeah, I think you held a tournament for that, right?
Yeah. I didn't really cover that in my talk. So yeah, we held a backgammon tournament. That was like one of our first multiplayer games too. It's only 2-player. Roulette's much more than 2-player. But yeah, we held a backgammon tournament with some prizes, and it was really cool to see everyone. Because actually, personally, for me, I was able to get to know a lot of people in the Discord personally, which was awesome. And yeah, we gave away 1 land parcel for the top prize of that, which, once you put incentives into the equation, it really...
I think the audio just cut out there.
Oh, no. You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I think your computer froze for a bit.
Oh, okay, sorry. But yeah, anyways, we had a backgammon tournament, we had a roulette competition, and we plan on doing these events, I want to do it personally like twice a month going forward, just because it's a great way of us like really getting to know our community and incentivize new people to join. So you stay posted.
Yeah, definitely. I think part of that is just making sure that community is aware of what's happening amongst us developers. I know there's a lot of really cool things in the world. We have a question. So what's been the biggest difficulty in kind of developing a casino for a virtual world?
Biggest difficulty, I think, I would say it's just across building or connecting all these different nascent technologies. I mean, not only just building in the SDK, I mean, that part is relatively easy, I would say.
Okay.
In terms of just building the front end games.
So that was...
I think, once you add a multiplayer architecture,
let him finish his statement.
Into, Matty transactions and integrating everything, connecting them through WebSocket connections. Like, I think it's to build everything all together like that, I think is kind of a challenge, because for a lot of this stuff there's minimal documentation out there publicly, and so you're kind of, by building a casino in Decentraland with multiplayer support, it hasn't really, there's no really example to go off of here. So I think that's probably the biggest challenge, and then obviously solving those user experience issues that kind of have hindered a lot of the blockchain gaming platforms from really producing like a solid user experience.
Okay. Yeah, once again, I just kind of want to highlight, since we're not getting to see these slides or any visuals, once again, not a polished product. Let's go look at the actual casinos ourselves. For those of you watching who have no fucking clue what Decentraland is or what this whole conference is, I just want to show it to you. So here's some pictures of the one he literally just launched, like, I think last week. It's called Tominoya. I mean, I was in there last week gambling my ass off. Not real money, of course, because I'm in the United States of, not freedom when it comes to gambling. But it's cool. You can see in there, these are slot machines completely decked out throughout the entire casino. I mean, the roulette table, it's fully functional. It all works. And I actually turned 1,000 play money into 50,000 play money. So whether or not those same returns are to be seen with real money, it's up for you to decide, right? But it's great design. They have hot cars just chilling outside. There's a backgammon place to play. So that's pretty much all I wanted to show. Just some visuals.
So I guess to answer your question, solving those issues and kind of combining all these technologies into one offering was essentially the challenge.
Yeah, definitely. How do you kind of maneuver yourself around the legalities of this? I think Decentraland works a little bit differently. How does it work across like both Decentraland and different metaverses, do you find like that's a strong roadblock, or is there a way to make sure you're in the clean with them?
Yeah, definitely. That's a really common question I receive. I think gambling in itself was super popular in Second Life to begin with, but they had a huge issue around it because it was bound by U.S. jurisdiction, U.S. law, and so they had to shut down real money gambling inside of Second Life. And then so the reason why we chose Decentraland to build on over crypto voxels or Somnium Space was because of this decentralization. I know crypto voxels, I mean, there's other reasons why they were there, just because the scripting was a little bit incomplete for what we were trying to do. But in terms of like Somnium Space, for example, I spoke with their founder, Archer, and had to talk with him about, what the decentralization is looking like for that space. And I think they do plan on it eventually, but it's nowhere near where Decentraland is in terms of decentralizing. And so we're at Decentraland, we're a Costa Rican entity. All of our servers are based in Costa Rica. Our license is based in Costa Rica to offer these games on an international scale. And so, yeah, decentralization has a huge part in us being able to legally offer these games. And being in Decentraland, users can kind of go to our casino from all over the world, but we do have kind of a whitelist and
So this guy is obviously role-playing his Trump pretty hard.
Free for anyone to play, for anyone.
You can read what he said. This is where I'll do my coronavirus press conference today.
But the minute a user tries to go to our site and deposit some mana to Matty Network to play our payout versions of our games, we grab their IP and let them know if they're in the United States or another jurisdiction where gambling is not permitted online, then we don't allow them to onboard onto our platform. So yeah, we really wanted to abide by all laws of every jurisdiction based on where the user resides. But luckily for us, there are jurisdictions where this is permitted, and Decentraland is not really bound by any specific body of law. So I think I think everything is works out.
Yeah, that's awesome. I definitely think the decentralization aspect of Decentraland is very deep, and it's quite new to the virtual platforms, and I think it's going to take some time to figure out the benefits of that and see visually how that kind of comes into play. And I know that with the casinos, you can kind of see that, especially with what you just mentioned there. So thanks again, Miles, for coming in and letting us know about your project. It's really good to see what's in the works. I'm gonna pass it on. Yeah, you're welcome. We're gonna pass it on to
So yeah, that was Baus,
Steve from
Decentral
Digitable,
Games.
who's gonna let us know about
Follow them on
what
Twitter.
he's working on him and his team.
Decentral Games.
Steve Wan from Digitable here. Just before I kind
Alright,
of
this is the last
dive
speaker.
into ours, Matty, thanks for having me,
Digitable.
and a big fan of DCL Blogger on YouTube channel, as well as William and Daniel. Your projects both sound fantastic, so I will definitely follow those and check them out. Josie, you know I'm a huge fan, love your work, so keep up the good stuff. And Miles, I was in Vegas City's kind of ICO thing about 6 months ago, and grabbed one of the 10 ETH parcels. So big fan of that project as well. So I'm happy that we're all kind of working and doing things in the metaverses. My focus with Digitable is technically in the metaverses and kind of doing some, I guess, campaigns to bring awareness to different unjust topics in the world. I know there's a million of them, but some of them at the forefront I found were Assange and Ross.
Okay.
So Free Ross, for anyone that doesn't know, is Ross.
I want to
Ulbricht.
refresh so bad.
He was the founder of the Silk Road. He is in jail for 40 years plus 2 life sentences for creating a website for
Love this
non-violent
Trump
crimes,
guy.
anything else prior to that. So the point of kind of what we built in Decentraland was to bring awareness to the Free Ross campaign. We have a 5-story building in DCL that we built that went live in 2019 prior to DCL launching. So we had our own server set up so someone could go in there in the beta mode and visit our building. Our building is a little bit unique in the sense that to gain access to our building, you have to have NFTs in your wallet. So if you've got one of our digital NFT hologram coins, you can buy on digitalbook.com. They're $1. and any of the proceeds go to Ross's legal fund. So to get into the building, you need to own one of our digital hologram coins that allows you into the lobby portion of it. And then from there, if you've got the other Rosses, there's 4 Rosses in total. I know Josie and Matt both have one of the Ross physical bars. We made 500 of those, and that's the only kind of avatar or NFT that allows you in the entire building on all different levels. Other than that, if you don't have the bar, you would just buy the different Ross avatars as per level, and they go up in price depending on different levels of the building you go up. So you can go to technically the 4th or 5th floor from the lobby, and that would be for anyone who holds one of our bars that is funded with a hologram. But on each level, there's different art. Josie's is definitely in there, and a couple others, Prometheus, some of Lucio's. So we've got a whole bunch of art in there. We've got a bunch of letters that Ross has written, both to the public and to just figures who have helped him over the years. They're in there, so if your avatar walks over and clicks on it, it'll actually blow it up full screen so you can read the letters. And then we're kind of dabbling in the different economic models in the metaverses. So we're hoping to have some storefronts. All of our art that we have listed in the building right now, there's a QR code below it. So if you scan that, it'll take you right to OpenSea. And then if it's for sale, you can purchase it there, or you can make an offer depending on what your interest is on the piece. So we're trying to look at different models to try and monetize the building itself. Storefronts are definitely at the forefront of what we want to do. But again, for this campaign specifically, it was bring attention to Ross. So again, if you haven't, please go to freeross.org and sign the petition there. The more signatures they gain, the better for his cause. And as well, I guess if anyone is listening on this call, if you want to email info@digitable.com, I'll gladly send you one of the NFT hologram coins, and then that'll at least give you access to the lobby, so you can kind of get a feel for what the building's like. And then if you so choose, you can decide to buy more NFTs, either on our website or through OpenSea. And then from there, you can go to the different levels. Once you have the NFT in your wallet to gain access to the next level of the building, it'll let you in the elevator. The elevator will take you to the next level.
This is like really cool stuff.
There, it tells you what avatar you need to gain access to the level above it. So
that
kind of a
so
mixture
dumb.
of
this is like really cool.
A cause. It's a very good cause in my mind to get the word out there about Ross, to raise money for his legal fund, and as well just to bring awareness.
Hashtag free Ross, dude. That needs to go viral.
And I know when we designed the building, it was Renee from Chainbreakers and Code are kind of who we commissioned to build our building for us. They did it a very reasonable amount of time.
Follow him on Twitter,
It was
boys and girls.
an expensive build, but also we got a lot for our money. But there's some things we're going to be changing in the future. So we do want to start hosting some conferences and whatnot in there. So to build one of the levels to be a conference center with screens and presenters, on stage, is something that we're going to be implementing very soon. So as far as on here, this goes over and shows you the kind of different floors of the world. There's different.
Let me step out for a second. Just you can't even see the slide anyways, but the reason this is so cool is it's like NFT is basically a token that you own. It's unique to your ownership. Nobody else has the same one, but this one gives you access to, I guess, specific tiers of his tower that he built. So this is gonna have big implications in the future as far as all NFTs in Decentraland or any NFT project in general, as far as granting you certain access to certain locations. For instance, let's say here's my NFT collection. I could just show you real quick. If I had a card, if one of these squares represents like a membership card to this convention center, it could grant me access to actually, walk in and be a participant in this thing. And if I don't have it in my wallet, then I'm blocked. Something like that. So yeah, this is really good, interesting stuff. So let's go back in and hear more.
The way Ross's life. So the first one was kind of an outdoors Ross. He's got the kind of that lumberjack jacket that you see in a lot of pictures that are posted on social media or whatnot about Ross. It's one of the most famous pictures of him. And in speaking with his mother, who helped us with this, Lynn Albrecht, she kind of let us know that Ross was a huge surfer. So one of the avatars is Ross surfing with a surfboard. He dressed up as kind of a crazy toga dudes for some of the parties that you had in universities. So we used that as one of them. And then the Ross bar as the Ross tuxedo avatar under the hologram on the coin itself. So if you do peel that hologram off, scan the QR code, it will redeem the avatar, which is the tuxedo Ross, and that's the rarest Ross. And to date, only 2 of them have been redeemed.
Oh,
so
slide works.
Collector's piece. I believe it's the first funded physical coin that's ever been made with an NFT on it. Similar to a Cretaceous coin back with Bitcoin.
Oh, this is his tower.
So we're just trying to push the envelope with physical and digital items, as well bringing awareness to.
No, dude, it's going too fast.
And then also just trying to expand the metaverse as much as we can.
Those are all the Twitter profiles, by the way, of all the figures. That was last week. This thing is all over the place.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve, there for explanation of Digitable. So yeah, if you visited the tower, or if you haven't, please check it out. It's pretty cool. You need the NFTs to be able to, access different floors. So I think for me, it was like the first use case of kind of privatizing different levels, which is really, really cool because, that opens up the doors to special conferences, VIP rooms, different levels that you can do, exclusive events. So yeah, different NFTs that you have to buy the initial coin. I think it's $1, right, Steve? Just for the.
It is, yes. And what we're hoping to do in the future is, if there are conferences held there, we can specialize in NFT. So, for example, if you wanted to have, say, a DCL blogger meetup, we could make it where anyone who paid for, a GA ticket would get one NFT that would allow them in, say, the first 2 levels. It might be a VIP party on the 3rd level that only other people with that specific NFT who maybe bought a VIP ticket would be allowed access to. So we're just kind of dabbling with different scenarios on how we can utilize this and kind of extend it out there. Because again, I was a very avid conference attendee, and now I'm kind of looking for other avenues, and this is definitely the best one I've found.
Bravo.
I think you got the Ross Tower working really well.
Couldn't agree more.
I think it must have been.
We did. It was a point of time to have it released in 2019, so the blockchain knows it went live prior to 2020. So I just want history to show that technically our building was live 2 months before DCL went live. So just the history book should show that. But yes, the metaverses are very interesting to me. We're building in others as well. We're in crypto voxels. We have quite a few buildings there under Digitable, as well as NFT magazine, as well as game credits. Most of them have either.
Let me just speak real quick on, for those of you who don't even know who Ross Ulbricht is and why this is an important initiative. He was a creator of the Silk Road, which was I believe it was an open market free exchange platform where it used early cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin to facilitate the transactions. Unfortunately, it turned into mostly an exchange of contraband, things like this, and because of it, he got the ban hammer from the government, and he's serving, I believe, a life sentence just for creating a website. The guy was innovating in the tech space, and unfortunately, the user base found their niche as a community of what they were demanding. And he got the blame for it. This is kind of like one of the root issues of centralization is, the fact that this poor one guy was totally liable for, the nefarious activities on his platform. Anyways, so everything this guy who's presenting right now is he's trying to raise funding, maybe to raise awareness for this injustice, this act of injustice, and maybe something can come of it where he can get a pardon from the president or something. I don't know, but let's go back in, see what else is going on.
Ross's NFTs in them, and then Somnium Space we're building in there as well, and Sandbox, we have lots of land, so when they go live, we'll be in there as well. But DCL was kind of the first one we got into as the 3 of us, the founders, Logan, Jason, and I, about 18 months ago. And then about 9 months ago, we decided we want to do something with the land and kind of brainstorm the digital building.
Yeah, awesome. Do you see any other features that can come up in Decentraland that could help kind of take this to the next level, or unlock more kind of functionality to it that
definitely. Well, being part of Game Credits is something else that I'm part of, and Game Credits is kind of a competitive engine. It's for esports and everything else. So the ultimate goal would be where we would mint NFTs, skins, guns, one of one that, someone won in a battle. We would actually mint these and have them as a staking portal reward. So for example, if you were playing chain breakers or whatnot, it might be where the 3 top players that week were to get a special sword or a special skin armor, or it might be something where on our portal itself we get a 1-of-1 shirt, a game credit shirt. So we're trying to look at where Digitable as a creator studio can kind of generate NFTs and take them for in-game play, because ideally I would like my avatar in DCL and voxels and in a game to all be seamless. So when that day comes, the doors are going to open for a world of new business models and everything else to be born.
Yeah, it's very exciting to see how the spaces are evolving even amongst each other.
100%.
What can we do to kind of help the roster, the free roster movement as Decentraland? Can we host more meetups around the cause, or?
This is an important question.
Just sharing the awareness on social media, educating yourself about it on freeross.org. There's some videos. Some of them are fantastic. They just educate you and show you, I guess the naiveness of the government in the case. I'm shocked it wasn't thrown out just for tampering and everything else.
Freeross.org.
So educating about it, spreading the word, about awareness, reaching out to local government.
Look at that.
Signing the petition 100% and getting anyone to sign it, as long as they're educated about the cause. I think they're up to 280.
2 life sentences. Good Lord.
When I first started talking to Lynn, she was about 100,000, so she's come a long way. I know prior to the shutdown, she was going to a lot of the Trump rallies to try and get the ear of the president, because around now, he's probably the best person, the wild card that he is, that might, appeal him or let him out early. So she's trying to take in that avenue right now, but again, that kind of got shut down by COVID. So I'm not too sure what her next move is going to be, but right now, just kind of spreading the word on social media while everyone's home, doing some education about the case itself, and just telling others that the unjust penalty that he's been given is probably the best thing you can do. And then again, supporting any of the NFTs that goes to Ross's legal fund. So for a monetary standpoint, so that would help as well.
Awesome. So thanks, Steve from Digitable. That's it. That kind of wraps this up. I think I'm echoing again for some reason.
Yeah, Matty, fix your mic, son.
Yeah, hopefully, am I still echoing? No. Okay, good.
He's definitely
thanks everyone
broadcasting
for
from a
joining.
train yard for sure.
That kind of concludes the second business conference. We kind of got to know our own community members a little bit deeper, a bit better, and see what they're working on. And this is, Decentraland really been launched for, I think, less than 3 months now. And to see this sort of stuff
now polished, I told you.
It builds even bigger and better. There's still a lot in the works. I know everyone's kind of working on secret work that, they've told some people and everyone's kind of sworn to secrecy, but there is a lot of work coming out on different people building and working on different projects. So we're going to start seeing a lot more of that, maybe more competitions as Decentraland work to, bring their focus from stabilizing the platform and adding new features to bringing on more people to the platform. So again, thank you everyone for coming. We were hopefully a bit more smoother this time. Looks like we finished up in an hour, which is, to me, that's perfect. I mean, I'm not someone that hangs around too long with this thing.
Follow DCLcore.
1 hour is a good time.
And
like it. And yes, share some
DCL blogger. That's who's speaking right now. Follow him too.
If you know anyone that wants to join to the next business conference, or you have your own ideas for events you want to run. If you notice, we have the DCLcore branding around us. So DCLcore is really just an open brand from the community. You can just run events under that if you want. We just kind of help with marketing and bringing awareness. It's an open brand. It's really just an effort to bring the community together. So a conference like this is perfect. Kind of fun events like the fashion show. If anyone wants to run their own types of shows, I think we have a blender contest for wearables that might be coming up real soon.
Oh,
so that
shit.
Sort of stuff is in the works.
Can't wait for that one.
Thank you everyone for coming. Thanks for the claps. And
all right, one final wave at the crowd.
We also have the DCLcore radio station on Frankie's Land, where he does, he's interviewed Andrew, he's interviewed really interesting personalities in the NFT space. And
I didn't realize that
the cool thing
Sign
is
did that.
While you read,
Exit. That's pretty cool.
While Frankie is hosting and running the podcast live and interviewing these people, we as people can jump into his building and listen to the podcast live and interact with each other, ask questions directly to Frankie and the host, and the person that he's interviewing. And it's kind of opening up this new interactivity, method of doing podcasting. We can also chat, and hopefully, we might have some mini games deployed where you can play chess against each other while listening to Frankie interview people. So that's a really awesome initiative from Frankie with DCLcore. But we're all open for that sort of stuff. Whatever you want to do to promote the DCLcore brand, it's an open community, and yeah, get involved. Thanks again for coming, and that's it from me.
Okay.
Watch out for the next business one.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. Very nice. Okay, let me get the fuck out of here. Holy shit.
Welcome back to episode 65 of the Blockburner Podcast. Here is where we discuss the latest developments in crypto.
Holy crap. Okay, I had to get out of there before I heard myself talk. But yeah, that was a pretty successful conference. I liked it. This is the first time I tried to record anything. The last time was a lot more enjoyable. Not enjoyable, it's just literally just sat my ass in the audience and didn't do anything. But this time I tried to record some stuff for you guys. So hopefully it's not a total shit show. I mean, the slides, I was having difficulties with the slides, but forgive me. This will become better over time. Like I said, I think Matty's intention is for this to be a weekly event, so I'll keep you guys posted. For those of you who aren't able to make it to these events, I understand. First life still takes priority over this second life stuff, but for those of you who do have the time and, who are just curious onlookers who haven't, taken that leap to create your own account, I strongly encourage you to do so. It is not that difficult to get an Ethereum wallet, a MetaMask account, or a Dapper. It's no more difficult than signing up for an email account, So do it. Get familiar with how to use cryptocurrencies because it is the future of transactions. Familiarize yourself with the tech. And Decentraland is like the best platform to it encompasses all the beauties of blockchain technologies that have developed over the last 10 years or so. There's a native cryptocurrency for this land. There's decentralization going on with these servers that are all spread to different node hosts, similar to how Ethereum is run on a distributed network. So this is all really cool shit. Anyways, I've been recording for way too goddamn long. So yeah, follow DCLcore, follow us at the Blockburner Podcast on Twitter. Tune into our podcasts. We have roundtable discussions too with the community weekly as well, which is also on this channel, so give that a gander. Follow all these guys. Anyways, okay, I'm out of here, guys. Be safe. See ya.